philosophical idea of how much goes into personnel costs, how much goes into O&M from every single stage of this thing, and how much is capital related, okay, how much is debt service, things like legal service, all of the stuff. I would assume they can put it in big square boxes for us, even by category, to be able to say personnel, insurance, blah, 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 blah. Not how much is the insurance for this truck, how much, like that's in their budget process, which they should be able to tell us that from last year and give us a good comparison, which we already have the budget information from last year, which brings me to this point. Their budget for this year is $718,000 is their budget.
What was I asked? What was it in 23?
618, 619.
I'm sorry, the 718 is for 25, right?
Correct.
So what was 24's?
619.
And 23's?
560.
Yeah, and I wonder if they're gonna throw police officers salaries on.
So, as I said early on, there was absolutely no doubt in my mind, and you can argue whether you like it or not, that's not what I'm getting at, but they had 3 people on full-time 24/7 cross training, right? They had CSOs, which were law enforcement, but they were CSOs and they were EMTs, or they were firefighters, and they were one of the 3 people that they needed. There were LEOs that were cross-trained to be able to do first aid and be a EMT basic, right? So by splitting that department in half and making it fire, EMS, and police, they doubled the cost of their personnel because they now need 6 instead of 3, or they need 12 instead of 6, however you want to look at it now. My point to this is their budget was $718,000 for this year. And I know they used fund balance to balance their budget. Call it fire and EMS, call it one of the other elements that peanut was under. If they use fund balance for this year and they're going up by $250,000, where are they going to fund it from? They were short this year and they're increasing the budget. I'm down 25%. So if they were short last year, where is 12.5% more of nothing going to come from?
They want it to come from the town.
Correct, but it would still be 12.5% short. Like they're out of 170, out of 718, I think the number was either 147 or 174. Maybe it was 178. I wasn't in the budget, but it was somewhere between 145 and $180,000. They applied general fund to their budget to make it work and equal zero at the end. They pulled money out of their savings. ARCA 2023 for us, right?
You have the 22 budget?
I don't. I didn't go that far back because that was time.
23 at 560 going to 619 and 24 is a 10.5% increase. 718 for this year up from 619 and 24 is a 15.99%. $1,046,000 up from 718 this year, going to $1,046,000 is a 45.68% increase for us.
Since the inception of
Well, just year over year. You take the difference, $1,046,000 minus 718, and divide that by 718, it's a 45% increase.
Take 1,046,000 and divide that by 7.
Josh, have you heard that you were going to add something with Set G and everybody's water bill or something?
Yeah.
That's already done, but when they buy that, what's that called?
Is that safe?
1.45. Yeah, so it's 45% more. But that's a 45% increase in 1 year.
So, to answer your question, because I bought the paper, I saw the headline and I went, what? Right?
Yeah.
They are moving, historically, the town, like, okay, 3 seconds. Utilities are required to provide public fire protection to their communities, right? If you're only providing domestic water to all the people in the community, you would only, let's just say, need a 4-inch water main. But to provide public fire protection, you may need an 8-inch water main. So you have to upsize the pipe, you have to upsize the pumping equipment, and there's costs related to that. So the utility can collect what's called public fire protection, or what they call hydrant rental for years, on one of two mechanisms, either on taxes or through the utility bill itself. So historically, they have collected that on the tax bill, and then taken that amount out to $118,000 and given that $118,000 to the water utility to be able to fund the water utility. Now they're putting it on all of the water bills, and they have a $118,000 hole, buffer, room, ceiling in their budget, right? So that helps to offset part of this, of the 170, 40, whatever it was that they used for fund balance. They built that into their levy to be able to collect the same amount of taxes as they did last year, but $118,000 of it is now new money to them. It still doesn't fundamentally cover the additional $150,000 that they would have to come up with to balance $1 million budget. Well, I don't know that anybody knows the answer. Like, this is the part that is frustrating to me.
But these type of questions, I would like on the record them addressing.
Well, another thing too, correct me,
If nothing else, it sends them.
Well, and all of this is my concern with the way that the thing is drafted to begin with, which doesn't really define where the base number is gonna come from to use this calculation, is that, let's just say, right, there's no 23, 24, 25 stanchion like there was in the prior agreement, where we could say 3 years from now, we knew what that cost was gonna be. I understand it's not in there, fine, but if it's not in there, and they send us an email that says $1.04 million, but they only approve a budget that's $850,000, are we at 50% of 850, or are we at 50% of $1,004,000 that they sent us the email? Like, those are the stupid fundamental questions that, again, we are running out of time for them to not have answers at this point.
Reach.
I know. I'm the
Yeah, no, get rid of that. Anybody,
this is a serious thing, let's get the ball rolling and get the village people.
What you said is that they're not giving answers so that we would run out of time by not looking elsewhere. And even if you look elsewhere but can't get something decided till, say, January, then you give them their 1 year's notice as of January next year. But
So-
still, it's a lot of money.
One of the things that I would like to come out of this as well tonight, besides making a pointed summary of here's our recommendations, even if we end up emailing this to them tomorrow or whatever it is that every meeting from this point forward, if we're gonna meet with the village, has to be the whole entire bill for. Like, we can't do we started doing it, what, 6 weeks ago, where the board was here, that's fine. He's gonna watch it on the video anyways. We started doing this 6 weeks ago as a board so that we could make some decisions. Like, we need to have the other 5 people here so that we can start making some progress on some of these items.
I make a motion that we adjourn the meeting.
I'll second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
We're gonna get second.